Everyone around you seems to know. They have the career, the plan, the direction. They talk about their goals with certainty. And you sit there nodding, wondering why you can't access that same clarity. You've tried journaling. You've done the exercises. You've asked yourself the questions. And the answer that keeps coming back is, I don't know. This video is for the person living in that I don't know. Because that place is not emptiness. It is something else entirely. And the Japanese understood what to do with it centuries ago. If this is your first time here, welcome to Wisdom Forgotten. Subscribe. Ancient Eastern wisdom, modern psychology, tools you can actually use. Now, let's get into it. First, the reframe that changes everything. Not knowing what you want is not a character flaw. It is not laziness. It is not a lack of self-awareness. In most cases, it is the result of one of two things. Either you spent so long chasing what you were told to want by your family, your culture, your fear, that you never developed the muscle of knowing what you actually want. Or you did know, and life knocked it out of you. Loss, failure, prolonged survival mode. These don't just take things from you. They take your sense of direction with them. Either way, you are not broken. You are disoriented. And disorientation has a cure. But the cure is not what modern productivity culture tells you it is. It is not more goal setting, not another journaling prompt, not another vision board. The cure is something the Japanese have practiced for centuries, and it begins with learning to read a different kind of signal. The Japanese concept at the center of this is ma, empty space. In Japanese philosophy, ma is not nothing. It is the pause between notes that gives music its meaning, the silence between words that gives language its weight, the empty room that gives architecture its power. Ma is not absence, it is potential. And the not knowing you are currently experiencing, that disorienting, uncomfortable blank, that is your ma. It is not where your direction went, it is where your real direction is being formed. But ma requires something modern culture is terrible at: stillness. Not the performance of stillness, not meditation as productivity hack, real stillness. The willingness to sit in the not knowing without immediately trying to fix it, without rushing to fill the space with someone else's answer. The Japanese understood that the person who cannot tolerate ma will always grab the nearest available direction, which is almost always someone else's, and they will spend years, sometimes decades, pursuing it, before the quiet voice of their own ma finally breaks through. So how do you work with ma instead of against it? 3 specific practices. The first is subtraction before addition. Most people in the I don't know place immediately try to add more information, more options, more inspiration. What they actually need is to subtract, to remove the noise long enough to hear the signal. For 1 week, remove the content that tells you what success should look like. The influencers, the highlight reels, the productivity content, the comparison material. Not forever, 1 week. And in that space, notice what thoughts arise that aren't borrowed from someone else. Notice what you find yourself drawn to when nobody is watching and nothing is being optimized. That pull, however small, however quiet, is signal. That is ma speaking. The second practice comes from Japanese philosophy of Naikan, structured self-reflection through 3 simple questions. Not, what do I want? That's the question you're stuck on. But, what have I received in my life that I've taken for granted? What have I given? And where have I caused difficulty? These questions sound simple. They are not. They bypass the identity confusion and go directly to values. Because what you have genuinely given, what you have truly received with gratitude, what you regret causing, these reveal what you actually care about. And what you actually care about is the map to what you actually want. The third practice is the smallest possible experiment. Not a decision, not a commitment, an experiment. You don't need to know what you want for the next 10 years. You need to know what you want for the next 10 days. Pick one thing, one area of curiosity, one small pull towards something, and give it 10 days of genuine attention. Not to decide if it's your purpose, to gather data, to see how your energy responds, to notice whether engaging with it makes you feel more alive or less.
Purpose is not found through thinking about it. It is found through contact with it, through trying, touching, engaging, and paying attention to what your actual experience, not your idea of the experience, tells you. Here is what I want you to understand about the I don't know place. The people who come out of it with the most clarity are almost always the ones who stayed in it long enough to hear something real, who didn't grab the nearest available answer just to escape the discomfort, who trusted that the empty space, was not the problem, but the process. You don't need to know everything. You don't need the 5-year plan. You don't need certainty. You need one small signal, one genuine pull, one 10-day experiment, and the willingness to be in the not knowing long enough for something true to emerge. The space is not empty. It is full of what's coming next. Trust it. Subscribe to Wisdom Forgotten. Drop a comment. Where are you watching from? And what is one small thing you feel genuinely pulled toward right now, even if it makes no logical sense? I read every single one. See you in the next video.